a message to all those that are attending the majalis of Abu Abdullah. Each and every one of us has an important role in carrying the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, in catering for the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, and in spreading the message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Now, something to take into consideration in these majalis is the fact that you need to be very welcoming towards people that are attending the majalis, in the essence that you may see people that you don't see the whole year round. These people, whether it be brothers or sisters, are doing other things during the entire year. However, they themselves find themselves in the majalis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein during those 10 nights. Now, their connection to the sanctity of this particular month, and indeed their respect towards the name of Abu Abdullah, drew them towards the majalis. Now, that in itself should tell us that Imam al-Hussein wants them to be there. These people may listen to music all year round, but when they enter the month of Muharram, all of a sudden they say, no, for Abu Abdullah, I'm giving that up. These people may be in places that are looked at to be something of a haram nature all year round. However, in the time of Muharram, they say, we will not go to those places. They may have particular traits where they may consume something that is haram. These particular people say that everything in my life that is forbidden, that displeases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm going to remove it for the sake and for the honor of this man by the name of Hussein. Now, after they've made that decision, they've come towards the majalis of Abu Abdullah. Let's say a gentleman would come from the male perspective. He may not necessarily have the most respectable of haircuts. He may not have the most respectable of dress codes. He may not be known for the most respectful of jobs. However, the fact is that when he enters a place where Imam al-Hussein is commemorated, he's in the majlis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. That in itself should tell us that Abu Abdullah wants him to be there, that he's utilized that light of guidance to bring him towards the majalis. And indeed, that lady, as an example, would not wear hijab all year round, that she may be known for particular traits that the community may look down upon her. That female may not have the best of tongues. People may be dispersing from her outside the majalis of Abu Abdullah to stay away from her. For whatever the reason, before that lady enters the majalis of Abu Abdullah, we need to understand that Imam al-Hussein is the one that brought her to that majlis. We need to make sure that we do not look at them in a manner that makes them uncomfortable. We do not say anything to them that will make them uncomfortable. We should never be the reason that that man or that woman, that boy or that girl say to themselves, I was not comfortable in the majlis of Abu Abdullah. Do not be the reason that that person doesn't come back tomorrow. Like we stated, everyone has a responsibility. Make sure that you are acting in a manner which pleases Fatima al-Zahra, which is the host for the majalis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And take into consideration the tradition of Amir al-Mu'mineen, whereby he beautifully states, never judge a person today on the sin that they performed yesterday, because they could have repented overnight. And indeed, we see this without a shadow of doubt within history, that there was a companion many times that was performing acts that displeased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in one manner or another, it could be a word, it could be something that he heard, it could be something that was said in his presence, or something that he's come across. that completely changes the dynamic of his aqib, changes the dynamic of his future, and indeed his place in the hereafter. Examples can be taken throughout history. One of the greatest examples is Bishr. And we all know the story of Bishr, that he was indulging in the worldly pleasures. One word from the Imam, where he says to one of his servants, "Is your master a free man or a slave?" She replies by saying, "He's a free man." The Imam responds by saying what? "Indeed, if he was a slave of Allah, he would not act in such a manner." When that servant goes back towards Bishr and says these words, you'll find that word in itself changed everything for Bishr's future. That word that the Imam stated changes everything in the future of Bishr, in which he runs out of his house barefoot. And that's why he's given the title Bishr al-Hafi, meaning when he ran out towards the Imam barefoot. And that is a sign of his repentance and return back towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So indeed, when we look at these particular perspectives, know very well that when we come and we prepare for Muharram, that in our back of our minds we need to understand that we need to be very, very careful of how we make all those feel around us. So inshallah, that goes on every level. The person, and I speak to myself first and foremost, is reciting the lecture. The people that are reciting the eulogies, the people that are doing the masa'ib, the people that are chest beating, the people that are welcoming people within the masjid, within the Husayniyat, within the centers, to the people that are outside helping with the parking, within the people that are giving tea towards the people that come towards the majlis of Abdullah. Each and every person has a responsibility in this particular month. And inshallah, by the end of it, we want to make sure that Imam al-Hussein and indeed Fatima al-Zahra is pleased with everything that we have endeavored to do within this holy month of Muharram.